Hi, thanks for tuning in. In this video I want to guide you through all the steps necessary to set up your own plane by using the example files provided with this asset. At first, let's set up the controls. Go to the Edit tab in the upper menu, then choose Project Settings. Input Manager. We have to add some axes here. At first, let's add yaw axis. Be sure to type yaw starting with the capital letter exactly as shown on screen. Set its negative button as Q and positive button as E. Add one more axis and name it throttle. Make sure to also name it exactly as on screen. You can bind whatever you want to use with its positive and negative button, but I'll use left shift and left control accordingly. We are done with input. You can close this menu. Now let's create the new airplane game object and set it up. Don't worry, most of it is automatic and easy. To start, click the Tools button in the upper menu, then select Create New Airplane. Select your airplane model and give it a proper name. Press Create New Airplane button and you should see the new airplane game object appear in the 0 world coordinates. Inside this game object are basic groups: Center of Gravity, Graphics, Collision, Control Surfaces, Audio and Engine. We'll start the setup from setting up the center of gravity. Select COG object and move it to about 1/3 of the main wing chord and somewhere on the engine level height-wise. Let's set up the colliders now. You have two options here. You can either go inside Collision Group folder and create an empty game object. Drop a mesh collider component onto it and select the needed mesh for a quick, but in some cases a bit inaccurate result. If you have time and want a more precise model, then you can create an airplane collider using cubes. One cube for wings, one or two more for fuselage, one for vertical stabilizer and one more for horizontal stabilizer. Transform these shapes until you get the model which suits your needs. After you are done, select all the shapes and turn off the mesh renderer. After that, we have to set the control surfaces. Create an empty game object inside Control Surfaces group and put an airplane control surface script on it. Then select it and paste such that every control surface has its own object. In my case I have 7 surfaces: left and right ailerons, left and right elevators, left and right flaps and the rudder. Then you should configure each of them. Start from the top and select the surface type, maximum deflection angle, rotation axis, control surface graphic and smoothness of rotation. Then go to the parent object. Find control surfaces list in airplane controller script and add all of the newly created surfaces to this list. We are done with control surfaces for now. Let's configure audio. As always, create an empty object inside audio group folder, name it idle source, then put an audio source component on it. Drag and drop your engine idle sound, then copy the game object 2 times. Name these full throttle source and other source. Assign the full throttle sound to full throttle source and leave the other source empty. All is left to do here is to make sure parent audio group object has airplane audio script assigned to it and assign the child objects to their corresponding sources. You can also add the engine startup, engine shutdown and engine dry start sounds. Input and engine should be assigned automatically. We are done with sounds. Go to engine. Ensure it has airplane fuel, airplane engine state change and airplane engine scripts assigned to it. A bit to do here, but not too much, no worries. Let's set up the events. Add new event entry, drag and drop engine object inside object field. Then select airplane engine script in the drop down menu, then select bool is shut off and set it to true. Repeat the same process on engine start event, but leave the is shut off bool as false. Add the new entry. Drag and drop the audio group object, then select airplane audio and select start engine sound. Do the same in the engine cutoff, but add cutoff engine sound instead. All is left to do here is to create new entry in engine dry start event. Drag and drop audio group object on it, then select airplane audio and select dry start engine sound. We are done with events. Select airplane propeller graphic from graphics group. Add airplane controller script to it and drag it in the script. Go to parent object and add the engine object inside the engine list in airplane controller script if not automatically added. We are done with engine. All is left to do is wheels. Go to collision group and add an empty game object. Name it wheels. Add 3 empty game objects inside wheels parent game object and call them front wheel or rear wheel if you have a tail dragger, left wheel and right wheel. Add airplane wheel script to all of them. Configure each wheel's graphic. You can find the graphic inside the graphics group. Choose whether the wheel is braking and set the desired brake power. If the wheel is steerable, set the is steering bool to true and set the desired steer angle. Then set the needed wheel radius and suspension settings in the wheel collider component, and move the wheels in their corresponding positions. After that, don't forget to assign the wheels to the wheel list inside the airplane controller script. The last thing left to do is to set up the camera. Select main camera in the hierarchy and add the airplane camera script to it. Select your airplane as a target and set the distances and smooth speed. After that, your model is ready to fly. Happy flying! Also, if you check the demo scene, you could also notice the instruments demo. You can either copy them into your scene or use provided scripts as basis for your custom UI.